Okay, what's going on guys? This is Liam and welcome to another video of reiteration. This is what it's going to be because I keep getting the same questions, and so I've got absolutely no problem answering them again and again, and I'll keep making videos like this because what is it? Repetition is the, whatever the phrase, repetition is the king of all learning or whatever it is. So, you know, practice makes perfect. So if I can keep telling you the same message again and again and again, and eventually I'm going to hammer away at that marble of your brain, and eventually we're going to get something there that resembles the understanding of how to beat tinnitus. Hyperacusis, pulsatile tinnitus, vertigo, Meniere's disease, okay, everything in between. So first of all, I'm going to show a picture here of a lady who's been working with me for a year, okay? I believe she's above the age of 30, and she's had tinnitus for a while, a long time, many years, I believe. I'm getting her to do an audio for me. She also has kids, so she beat her tinnitus after having it for a long time. Took her a long time with consistent, persistent effort. She beat it 100%, and now she can get on with her life. So just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, totally beatable. I get testimonials like this all the time. If you've noticed, I haven't been posting on my Instagram. I haven't been making many videos recently because I'm trying to, I've changed from just doing one-shot videos and one-shot posts, and now what I'm trying to do is actually develop a tinnitus application, a phone app, if you will. Because I keep getting the exact same questions again and again and again, and that's fine, that is what it is. You've got to look at things objectively and say, this is happening again and again, how do we fix it? And what I'm going to do is I want to create an application where you get daily reminders of what to do. You put certain things in, have you hit your RDAs, have you done this month, have you done that, have you done that, have you done that? It's going to sink in with the system. Hopefully I'm going to get it locked in. You're going to be able to track, it's going to come with, you're going to be able to put in your tinnitus and which ear does this and which sounds in this ear and which in this ear, what's your spike, what's your hyperacusis, what's your hearing like. You're going to be able to track it every 10 days, and you can look back on it because remember, it's not going to be tracking your tinnitus every single day, because that would be a complete waste of time, because tinnitus goes like this, like all over the shop. It goes crazy. Literally, it does this. If you zoom in on the graph, you'll see me doing this, like that, okay? And it goes up and down all around on a daily basis. But if you zoom in like this, that's what it's going to look like. But if you take the actual proper realistic view of life and zoom out, which things take time, like this lady, if you zoom out, okay, it's going to look like that, okay? Maybe a little bit of change, a little spike there from something bad happening, or you know, you cheated or whatever. That's fine. You don't cheat. If you cheat, by the way, if you cheat, this is a good point. If you cheat and you have 3 glasses of wine and a piece of cake one day, you don't undo all the work you've done, okay? You can't undo, let's say, okay, well, if you did a week's worth of work, you haven't done anything anyway. It's just a week. What do you expect to happen in a week after you've wrecked your body after 30 decades? There's no progress after a week. Nothing's gonna happen, so you may as well just do whatever you want anyway. Don't do that, but you understand what I'm saying. And the same thing goes, if you've done 4 months of hard work, that's a serious amount of time. You've made progress, okay? And a day is not going to undo a whole bunch of amazing work over 4 months. Do you see what I'm getting at there? So you don't undo the progress, don't worry. And all that stuff's going to be included in the application. But back to the application, that lady that I just showed you, here it is again. Pause the video and watch the video, and read this, sorry, and have a read through it, okay? It's gone now. If you looked at her graph, which I don't have because she didn't have the application, no one has the application yet, it would have looked like, well, from your angle, let's say that this is volume, high volume tinnitus is gone, time, day 1, day 365, it would look like this, wouldn't it? But if you looked at one of those crests and you zoomed in, let's say you take Monday to Sunday somewhere, it might be like, oh, it's going down Monday to Tuesday, and then it even spikes for let's say it spikes up for a month, a whole month it spiked. And you think, oh my God, what was I doing? It was going so well, and now it's going so bad, I'm freaking out. Oh my God, what did I do? Was it this, And you start freaking out, when really you forget some important things, which is your tinnitus is going to go up, down, all around, left, right, ringing to hissing, humming to chirring, whirring to chirring, blah, 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 all that sort of shit all the time, okay? But it's always got a downward trajectory as long as you're doing the right shit, okay? And consistent and persistent like this, okay? A bit of a monk-like persistence. And if you look out at the whole thing, it's not raining, is it? Whole thing, it's going down. So let's say that this is a benefit of this application. Let's say you're doing well for a month, and then it spikes up the volume a little bit. You actually track the volume you have to use headphones, and you move and move. Oh, yeah, that loud, yep, that matches it. Yep, similarly do to the ENT's office, okay, except we're using it for an actually using it for a reason, not just so they can sell you TRT crap, okay? Oh look, it was going down for 2 months and now it's spiked up for 2 weeks. That's bad, but it's not even as bad as it was, and I'm sure it was on a downward trajectory. What was I doing to get it down? And then you can go back and drag your finger along the line, and you can drag it up, and it will pop up and show you what you were doing. I was hitting my RDAs, I was doing this, I did this, it will sync in with Triumph over Tinnitus 3, and it will show you everything you're doing. And also, every month, you get a notification pop up, okay? And it will show you exactly what you hit, what you didn't hit, what you did, what you didn't do, depending on what week you're on in the course, okay? So very cool, very interesting, and every 10 days, time to measure your tinnitus. Measure your tinnitus. Has the noise changed? Is it a ringing, hissing, blah, blah. Okay, so I want it, that's coming. That'd be very cool, I think. If you have any requests for the application, if you're in the course or not, I'd love to hear. Post below, tell me what you think. If you want anything, write me a whole essay. I'm really interested to know what you would actually want to see in that. Okay, so moving on. One thing that I'm getting this a lot, and this is the real point of this video, is I have people that try my advice out, watch a couple of my videos, and as you know, I have a guy called Louise fielding my emails just to give you some advice and tell you where to look and that sort of stuff, so I can handle the people in the course and help them. And every now and again he sends me one if he thinks I should read it, and it will be someone that said, oh, Liam, I tried your advice for 3 weeks. Okay, great. I tried your advice for 3 weeks, and it was a bit too much for me, and and it's always the same thing. They tried everything all at once and they went too hard, and it was too hard. Never ever have I said to do that. So first of all, there's your first problem. You don't do that. It's ridiculous. And they say, but you know what? I tried it and it didn't, it didn't really work for me. And I just, but before I go, Liam, what's the one thing, just the one thing that could fix my tinnitus? Liam, from Liam Stubbs Tinnitus, my tinnitus is really annoying. What's the one thing that could fix it? Mr. Bowen, my hyperacusis is really getting to me and affecting my way of life. If you could inform me and sort of, if you could discern for me, you could unravel the hidden secret behind your methods. The one thing, just the one thing, and just whisper it in my ear right here, Liam. My pulsatile tinnitus is really bothering me. So if you could just, the course is great, but if you could just give me that one thing, the secret. I know everyone else has to do it. I know I'm different. Everyone else has to do everything at the same time and do it bit by bit, sort of at the same time. But everyone else has to do everything. But my situation is different, you see, and here's why it's different. And I'm sure you've never heard this before. It's totally different. But what is the one thing that if you had to give someone the one secret? Liam, what's the secret? What's the secret? I'll pay you whatever you want. I've had offers for lots of money. People have offered me $5,000 plus for just the one thing. Okay, even though the course is like 10 times less than that. Okay, then what's the one thing that you could give me that would cure tinnitus? You've done this for a long time. What's the secret? I haven't got. I don't want to do this. I don't want to put the time. What's the one thing? And guys, the truth is there is no one thing, because here's why. Let's talk about what tinnitus is. Okay. What is that ringing in your ears? Let's stick with tinnitus, and then we can talk about hyperacusis. Actually, for this video, let's talk about tinnitus, because that's what probably most of you, if not all of you, have. So, first of all, is tinnitus, bring this sucker in close for this, is tinnitus caused by hearing loss? No, it cannot be, okay? There are millions and millions of people in the United States and Australia and the Netherlands and Germany and India and Russia and all Belarus and even Papua New Guinea and Africa and so many places of people that I help that have many tens of millions of people who have some form of hearing loss and don't have tinnitus, okay? And there are also many people that have tinnitus that don't have hearing loss. There are people who have tinnitus to get told they have hearing loss, but yet it is not hearing loss because all it is when they get the hearing test, okay, and I've spoken about this before, they can't hear certain noises because of the interference, because of the volume of their tinnitus. So, what is actually causing the ringing in the ears? What is it? Is it broken stereocilia? Here is what an ENT will have you believe. And this is just fucking comical at this stage, because we all know that you can get tinnitus from a myriad of different causes: pharmaceutical, stress, loud noises, a physical injury, posture problems, and basically you name it. I have people who've been electrocuted. I have people who got it from STDs. I have people HSV1, HSV2, gonorrhea. I've heard it all. Really, Thailand's a hell of a place, okay, and so is other countries as well. Jesus Christ. Anyway, everything and everything. So with that in mind, take that in your mind, put it over here. Let's go over here. Okay, let's move over. The ENTs will tell you, well, you've broken your hair cells, which is stereocilia. And so because you've broken your hair cells, you have what's in either ear in your inner ear called a cochlea. And within that cochlea, you have a coil. And within the coil, you have clusters of hair cells. They're within clusters, and within those clusters, there are two. One is shorter than the other, attached by a membrane here, okay? It's kind of irrelevant. But with loud noise, you can break them, okay? You can break them. And when you break them, they're irreparable, you can't fix them. And so you've lost the spectrum of hearing, and most people have high-end hearing loss. And because of that, the brain doesn't like not being able to hear a spectrum of hearing, so it fills it in with a ringing or a hissing or a rumbling or a whirring, or sort of sounds like a volcano for some people, or a car engine or a motorbike engine or whatever. Even feels like vibration for some people, to fill in the space because it doesn't like space. Well, let's just move back over here now. If tinnitus can be caused, please explain to me how stress, pharmaceuticals, STDs, physical injury, and being electrocuted can break stereocilia. Show me the literature, okay? Show it to me, prove it to me. Can't do it, hasn't been done, hasn't been tested, where would you even start with that, okay? Ridiculous. Not true at all. The next thing that's just incredible is how many of you have actually had your stereocilia looked at? So the hair cells in your ears, how many of you have had them inspected? I'm going to guess it's a big fat with a pH 0. 00. Okay, it's a 00. This isn't me giving 2 hand jobs. Okay, it's a 00. Because you just haven't, have you? You just haven't had it inspected. They're just guessing. This is because it is just a theory. Okay, it's just a theory. Now, you can absolutely say that, well, Liam, you say that tinnitus is caused by mitochondrial dysfunction and metabolic disorders, and that is just a theory. And you are absolutely right, it is just a theory. But it's a theory that I've proven again and again. Exhibit A. Exhibit A. And I have so many testimonials and videos and screenshots of people of all ages and all causes. Okay? So, if you... Back to the point, let's round it back to the point of, there's no one thing, there's no magic pill, it's all encompassing. So let's talk about what tinnitus really is, and let's really break down my theory. I'm going to really break down everything for you now, and you can take this to your doctor. It is very similar in the words they use to what your ENT has been taught, but it is still completely different. So, excuse me, if you look at the ears, okay, let's just take one ear to give this example. Your ear, requires a hell of a lot of energy, okay? It requires, at the end of it, ATP, okay, adenosine triphosphate, in order for the ear to function, okay? In order to convert vibration. This, by the way, sound is vibration through the air. This is all vibration. That's all vibration. And what your ear does is it takes it in. I won't explain the mechanics of the ear again for the millionth time. When it gets to the cochlea, there's a process, there's a channel called the mechanoelectrical transduction channel, MET plus channel, in the cellular base of the stereocilia. You've got stereocilia here, and then you have a cellular base down the bottom. And that's responsible for using a huge amount of adenosine triphosphate and converting vibration into electricity so it can pass it through the vestibulocochlear nerve into the auditory regions of the brain on both sides here, okay? And you interpret the noise. You interpret which direction it came from, you interpret what it sounds like, and you interpret the volume. The three little bones are responsible for actually decreasing and amplifying the volume. Isn't that interesting? Every noise around you is actually much quieter than you perceive it to be. Just like you perceive light, just like you perceive everything around you, it's all perception, okay? Doors of Perception by Aldous Huxley, amazing book, one of the first books I ever read when I was trying to beat tinnitus, amazing book. Okay. So it needs an amazing amount of energy to process that within the spire, if you will, of the cochlea and the different classes of stereocilia. So what happens when you don't have enough ATP? And also, what can interfere with the adenosine triphosphate production? Well, you need adequate amounts of oxygen. Okay, you need adequate amounts of sunlight for the electron transport chain, okay? There's many processes that go into that actually working. There's thousands of electrons within one mitochondria. There's thousands of mitochondria within a cell. There's many mitochondria within the cell of the stereocilia. They use a whole bunch of energy. A process of the electron chain tunneling process. And as a byproduct of that, what you get, okay, is you get energy for the hearing, okay, to process hearing. Process the different spectrums of hearing. Excuse me. Now, did you know, fun fact, that mammals are born with tinnitus in their ears when they're born to help them map, okay, the different spectrums of hearing from high to low, okay? Isn't that cool? Isn't that interesting? Helps them map, okay, constantly ringing in their ears to help them map the ears and help them connect the actual instrument of the ear, okay, to the brain so they can process hearing. Isn't that very cool? And then as they hear things and they learn to process different frequencies and noises, okay, the tinnitus goes away as that section has been mapped. This has been shown in rodents and mice and rats and all that sort of stuff. Very cool, okay? So wouldn't it be pretty realistic to imagine that as the energy from your ear, which is depleted if you don't get enough fatty acids, if you don't get enough sunlight, when you don't get enough sleep, when you eat too many carbohydrates, so you crowd the oxygen out of your blood. That's right, if you metabolize carbohydrates, okay, you're getting toxins in the blood, acetate, acetaldehyde, ethanol, and lactate as well, and you crowd out oxygen from the blood, and you need oxygen to create adenosine triphosphate. It goes from I believe it's something like if you don't have enough oxygen in the blood, the level of adenosine triphosphate you can create from one molecule of fatty acids, so saturated fat, goes from 32 molecules down to like one molecule. So your ears become basically fucking useless, is what I'm saying. And you will lose some hearing. You won't have enough energy to process all the spectrums of hearing, okay? So wouldn't it make sense that when your ears start to falter and they start to not work and they can't hear adequate volumes, and they can't also, it's very hard for them to process loud volumes because they need more energy to process loud volumes. Hyperacusis, anyone? Making sense now? Wouldn't it make sense that when you lose those spectrums of hearing, okay, that your ears will start to set the ringing up again to try and map out that hearing because you've lost your hearing, okay? Now, this is not saying that tinnitus is directly caused by hearing loss, okay? But what you've done is you've given yourself tinnitus and hearing loss because of the underlying cause of metabolic problems, because your diet is shit, okay? Lack of oxygen, lack of sunlight, and mitochondrial dysfunction, because that is where your energy comes from, mitochondria. Did you know I weigh about 83 kilos now? Today, I will make about 70 kilograms of adenosine triphosphate. How cool is that, okay? And as well, if you're not exercising, did you know that when you exercise, your muscles act as a battery and release electrons into the body? And also, people who like craniosacral therapy, Did you know, if you haven't seen someone do cranial psychotherapy, lay on your back and you have someone play with your head, and it's much more complicated than that, obviously. And they play with a pump, which is a cranial sacral pump, which is about here, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I don't know specifically where it is, but it's a pump. And if you play with it right and you work with the mechanics right, guess what you do? You release electrons all throughout the body, and then again, you give those electrons to the mitochondria, and they use that in the electron chain tunneling process, and they give you adenosine triphosphate to charge the ears. Isn't this interesting? Did you know if you have bad posture, you limit the blood flow? Blood flow carries the oxygen, molecules to the ear. It's all encompassing. So it's so fucking aggravating when people go online and try and sell a single supplement, or try and sell a single process, or try and do a single thing, and try and fuck people out of their money for a single thing that was fucked from the beginning. Do you see where I'm coming from? And so when somebody says to me, what's the secret? I say, I know where this is coming from. It's not coming from those people who are trying to sell you shit that doesn't work. That's fine. That's what people do. It's coming from the fact that you were raised to listen to your doctor. And if you can't see that your doctor doesn't even know that they're a salesman, and they don't realize they're a salesman, and they're fixing the symptoms. Oh, I've got a rash. Oh, here's a pill. Oh, I've got diabetes. Here's an injection. Oh, I've got this problem. I've got a vision problem. Oh, here's some eye drops. Oh, I've got stomach problems. Here's some antibiotics. If you can't see that your doctors and the medical system of the entire world is so fucking corrupt from the very top, then I can't help you. You're beyond help. If you're still in that frame of reference where you view your tinnitus on a day-by-day basis, then I cannot help you, okay? If you still think that there is one secret to doing anything in life, then I can't help you. What's the secret to making money? What's the secret to getting him or her to love me? What's the secret to stopping my hair from falling out? What's the secret to getting taller? What's the secret to anything? There's no one secret. You got to hit it from every angle, okay? Bodybuilding, becoming a politician, saving money on your tax, building a home. You got to do everything at the same time and in the right order. So if you can't get this, just unwire all that wiring you've had from your life, okay? And realize that it's an energy problem. Tinnitus is an energy problem, and at its fundamental core, it is a mitochondrial problem. But what you're thinking now is, Liam, okay, well, what's the best way to fix my mitochondria? What's the best thing? There is no best way. It's everything. Okay? Just like the body can't survive / thrive off of one single thing, one single food, okay? You've got to have salt, you've got to have water, you've got to have meat. You can even go for some raw veggies if you want to clean the blood in the liver, okay? It does that. They do that. Then you've got to have certain organs. You've got to have the right form of vitamin A. You've got to have iodine, but you've got to have them in the right order. You've got to do this, you've got to do that. What about gallstones? What about stress? What about sleep? Are you doing sleep properly? Are you avoiding blue light? Are you avoiding Wi-Fi? Are you avoiding this? Are you avoiding toxic people? Are you drinking the right form of water, okay? So when people say, and self-promotion here, but when people say, Liam, what's the single best thing I could do to fix my tinnitus? To be completely fucking transparent as hell, the best thing you could do would be to join Triumph Over Tinnitus 3. And I'm just going to put the link to it right below this video, because honestly, if you want to silence your tinnitus, that's it. The results are there, okay? The jury's out on this. It's there. That's it. Show me the results, okay? Show me the results anywhere that get the same results as this. It does not exist. This attacks the root cause of tinnitus, regardless of how you got it. Once again, back to the causes of tinnitus. Stress, STDs, noise trauma, okay? Being electrocuted, poor diet, pharmaceuticals. They all damage the mitochondria on an atomic level. We're talking about atoms, we're talking about the electrons, we're talking about the protons, we're talking about the atoms, we're talking about different cells, astrocyte cells, liver cells. We're also talking about things like liver enzymes, but it's getting to the chemicals. Remember, the body is electric before it is chemical, okay? But remember, if you're not, you can talk about the atoms all you want, the electrons all you want, but if you're not getting the right oxygen, how do you get the right oxygen? Did you know the difference between breathing through your mouth and breathing through your nose? Did you know that you can take in the same amount of air through both, but the nose treats the air a different way? You can take in more oxygen, thus giving more oxygen to your brain. But what about posture? How do you fix your posture? Do you know how to do that? Is a pill ever going to do that? Is mindfulness meditation ever going to do that? Is TRT training ever going to do that? Let me ask you this. Is massage going to fix a nutritional deficiency? Don't think so. Is a supplement going to show you how to kick a toxic person out of your life? I didn't think so either. Okay? Is acupuncture, okay, going to perfect your sleep so that you actually hit REM sleep? I don't think so either. Okay? Let's say even one of my things, fasting, not my thing, but I didn't invent it, but one of the things I recommend, is fasting going to show you how to get gallstones out of your body? I don't think so. Okay? Let's see, TRT training or neuroplasticity going to show you what you're allergic to and you didn't even know you're allergic to? I didn't think so. You have to come at this from every single angle because there are so many causes of tinnitus that you didn't know about. So if you want to get rid of tinnitus, you have to address it as a whole. There is no one thing that causes tinnitus, okay? There is one thing at the base of tinnitus. It's not even mitochondria and metabolic disorders. Metabolic disorders will fuck with the mitochondria in so many ways, okay? And did you know this? When mitochondria are in cells, so mitochondria is intracellular, so it's inside the cell. You have inside the cell, okay, intracellular, and you have the extracellular matrix outside. How do you recycle old mitochondria and old cells? Did you know about hypoxia and hyperoxia? Did you know about that? Do you know how to get to Lyme disease when those bugs hide in places that oxygen can't get to? Did you fall into the trap of thinking that antibiotics work for Lyme disease? Sorry. Once again, you're going on that paradigm of doctors. This drug will fix it. We'll do this. We'll just do this one thing. Do you have any proof? Fuck you, I'm a doctor. That's what it comes down to. If you listen to the authority and not the people who get the results, and people who've had it themselves, and people who've been doing this for nearly over 7 years now, I think I know what I'm doing, okay? And when I tell you there's not one thing to fix it, some of you, it's a hard pill to swallow, but some of you would swallow a golf ball sized fucking pill with a 50% chance of choking to death if it meant that you didn't have to do the things that I told you that you needed to do. Really. And you have to, the sooner you admit that, the sooner you can get on with it and just do what it takes to silence tinnitus. Really. If you're going at this like you just do, there's one thing to cure. And once again, and I'll end this video now because I'm going on for a while, but when I want you to answer me this. For a serious problem, health problem, financial problem, whatever it is, when has there been one single thing that's ever fixed it? Is it a process or is it one single thing? Okay? You get a splinter. What do? Do you just pull it out? No, you got to pull it out. Then you have to put the betadine on it. Then you put a Band-Aid on it. And then you go and make sure you sand down the board so you don't get a splinter again and you warn other people about it. Okay, it's a whole process. Same with making money. Anyway, okay, I'm going to end this video here. But if you really want what in my opinion is, well, other people's opinion too from testimonials, is the best way to get rid of tinnitus, just click below. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. Tinnitus is not for life. Hyperacusis is not for life. Pulsatile tinnitus is not for life. Menu's is not for life. Vertigo is not for life. The noises and whirring and cheering and buzzing is not for life. The whole theory that your hair cells have been broken is horseshit, so don't worry about that. It really is just metabolic disorder, okay? And then at the root of that is mitochondrial dysfunction. Mitochondria is a foreign bacteria, has its own DNA separate to humans, just like the bacteria in your gut. Anyway, getting off track. Enjoy.